everybody, my name is Stephanie. I'm the head keeper here at Rolling Hills Zoo, and for Bringing the Zoo to You segment today, we are going to take you behind the scenes and give you a view of our main barn. So this is our computer room. In here is where keepers really are able to keep daily records and consult any of the binders that have information such as enrichment or diets or anything else that they need for day-to-day. Now, records are really important with keepers because it is kind of our central hub for information. And this computer room is relatively new. It's only been around for a couple years, and that's because we used to do a lot of paper documentation, and now we've kind of moved towards more of electronic, and that's part of our kind of recycling that the zoo is really doing. And a lot of our information is all on ZIMS now. So all of our keepers are on ZIMS, which is a program that allows us to document all of the daily records such as enrichment items or diet intake or any medical notes or anything else that we may need to note for vet staff or administration or even other zoos. So it's a really great program that allows us to kind of check and see what other animals are doing in other zoos, and also they can kind of check and see animals that have switched from one zoo to another. It gives us kind of a database that we can centrally locate to and check an animal's medical history out or anything else we might need to know, such as how the animal ate last night or if there was any odd behavior. We can note all of that in ZIMS. So this computer room is really important to us, and with everything going on, we are still going about our documentation and daily care as usual. So you might see keepers coming in and out as they need to fill out dailies, but I'll kind of let you get a peek at what kind of goes on in here. So you kind of got an idea of all the different stations. So we do have several different areas in the zoo that our keepers take care of, and each team has their own computer station, which has been really helpful when we're having to work and get all of our dailies done. We don't have people waiting for computers. Everyone can kind of do them as they need to throughout the day. And we have calendars, as you saw, and that allows us to also communicate with one another, and we can kind of see when people are off, what events are coming up, and it just gives us another form of communication that we really rely on here at the zoo. So the next area that we're going to take you to is probably the keeper's favorite place in the zoo, the break room. So our keepers have their own kind of break room that they can utilize. That way we don't have meals anywhere that animal feed is done. So this is kind of their area. They also have lockers, and everyone has their own locker, and you can kind of see everyone's personalities decorated on the lockers. And we have refrigerators and a coffee machine and microwaves. So we've got a pretty good setup here. So now that you've seen our break room and our computer room and a little section, I'm going to take you to another section of the main barn where we store all the hay. Now, obviously we have a lot of hay-eating animals or herbivores, so we have to have a lot of hay on hand at all times to make sure that those animals have lots of variety. And to do that, we have a few different things. We have different types of hay that we leave covered, and we even have our own hay cutting machine, which is pretty cool and the envy of a lot of people. And that is kind of used for any animals that maybe can't eat the bigger hay, and we're able to kind of chop down our own hay, like animals like Joya, our greater one-horned rhino, that kind of like a specialized diet, and it's a little easier for them to eat. So we really have the luxury of utilizing that for the animals that need a little bit of extra attention with their diet. We do have a lot of different kinds of hay here at different times. Typically we feed brome hay, alfalfa, timothy hay. We also have prairie hay at times seasonally, and straw if we need it. So we even have a little bit of test hay right now. So we have a lot of different varieties of hay to make sure that all of our animals have as much diet variety as possible. And we like to kind of change it up and make sure that all the animals have a nutritional diet. And when all of this hay comes in, we actually do test it beforehand to make sure that it is, everything is up to nutritional standards, and it undergoes tests. And our vet and curator look at it and make sure that all the numbers are good before we feed out anything. So just like any other food, all of our food is tested to make sure it has the best possible nutritional value that it can. So the next area that I'm going to take you to is our shop area. this is probably one of the most important areas in the zoo because we make a lot of our own enrichment for our animals. You might see some things here or there in the back of the videos, and a lot of that stuff is things that we utilize in order to make enrichment. So this is a really important space that we like to utilize and make as many things as we can. We also use it for things like perching that you see in enclosures so that animals can climb around and have a natural habitat as much as possible. And that enrichment is really important, and we give it out every single day. Some of our animals even get it multiple times a day. So we really need a space that we can build that enrichment and in a safe environment and make sure that those animals have kind of diverse natural behaviors that they would in the wild. And that's what that enrichment does, is it really gives us the opportunity to provide them with objects that will increase and encourage those natural behaviors that you would see. So when you guys are able to come out to the zoo, maybe you guys will see some of the projects that we're working on out on exhibit. So a few things you'll kind of get to see. We have a lot of different equipment, and we have a lot of different tools that we can use in order to make that enrichment. And that's been really important to us, and we're very lucky that we have this space that we can use. It gives us a lot of options, and we're able to make pretty much anything that we can dream of, and it's been a really great space for us. So glad you guys kind of get to see where we do all of our work and become master craftsmen. So some of you might wonder what else we feed our animals aside from that hay that you saw earlier. Well, we also feed a lot of our animals different kinds of grain. And we kind of wanted to show you, this is where we store our grain and how many different varieties there are. So this is kind of what we store when we get a shipment in. And we get a shipment every 3 to 4 months, depending on how often we need it. And you see all the different colored tags. All of these are different kinds of grain and pellet that are designed for our animals, that have all the nutrients they need to mimic kind of a natural diet and make sure that they're getting a really balanced, healthy diet day in and day out. And you can see just the amount of different animals we have here. They're all fed kind of unique and different diets. So we just wanted to give you a little insight as to kind of what we do and where we get all of our food from. So you guys might have seen these in the background, and you might be curious what this is. These really, really tall pallets are sawdust. When you look at some of our exhibits, you might see some like pine bedding looking stuff. Maybe you use it on your animals at home, and maybe you've never seen it before. But we kind of get this in every few months. We place an order, and that's what that Bobcat is really helpful for. And we'll get a whole bunch of these pallets, and we use about this much. I don't know if you can see how much is actually back here, but they're really, really tall, and we grab individual bags, and we're able to take them on to exhibit with us and utilize them on a day-to-day basis. This is a few months supply, so that's to kind of give you an indication of how much bedding we actually use for these animals, and just how much these animals can get cleaned every single day. Some of it gets completely stripped and replaced every single day. So kind of give you an idea of some of these big white pallets you might have seen in the background. So the next area that we're going to take you is our commissary. This is another really important area for the animals because not just hay and pellet, but we feed our animals meat or a produce diet also, depending on what their diet entails. And you can see a couple of our keepers in here doing diets. We call them, this is Cody. He works in Kids Country, and he is working on some produce diet. And this is Sarah. She's one of our primate ape keepers, and she's working on some lemur diets, it looks like right now. And they are just kind of going about their business, doing their daily thing. And you can kind of see we have the areas separated. We have a produce area that these two are hanging out in. And then if you look in the back where that side is, that's where we keep our meat diets at. And that's where all the meat prep happens. We have separate sinks for sanitation issues. And we keep all of our areas separated to make sure that no produce ever touches any kind of part of meat. We also have separate refrigerators for everything and separate freezers to make sure none of the food ever cross-contaminates. And a whole different area of microwaves, and we have PPE, which is personal protective equipment, and all this kind of fun enrichment food. If you ever wondered what kind of treats we like to give our animals, or even some of it part of daily diet, this is a really great example of some different enrichment foods that we give out, and some of the different diets that we store in here. Thanks thanks for joining us for a behind-the-scenes tour here in the main barn, where you got to see kind of the ins and outs of the keeper's daily routine and where they operate. And next week, we're going to show you this space right here, which is where we have all of our ambassador animals. So if you guys have any questions about things you've seen today, or want to know any questions for the keepers, drop them in the comments below. And next week, we'll see you back on Bringing the Zoo to You.